Peace, everybody. How are you? This is Brother James from House of Healing Light, but a higher frequency. Um, but today, I'm speaking to you as a father of three autistic children. And what we want to talk about today is how you can use Reiki to help you in your homeschooling of your autistic child or children. First of all, let's start off with a definition. Reiki is defined as a universal life force energy. And in saying that, that's why we say that Reiki can heal on all levels. Now, this benefits everyone, but it can be used in a couple of specific ways to help you in your homeschooling. Now, number one, as any Reiki practitioner will tell you, Reiki helps to reduce stress, strain, pain, depression, and anxiety. All these things are something that our children, especially in these days and times, are experiencing on a day-to-day basis. And even in the home, they can be put in those type of situations, especially in homeschooling. We all have anxieties from wanting to perform well, wanting to get things done right, wanting to achieve goals, and so on and so forth. So just on those simple principles, giving your child Reiki before you begin class can help reduce a lot of the anxiety and the stress and depression, if that's a part of the problem. So in other words, it helps to relax your child, which ultimately opens them up to have a greater learning experience, as well as those who are the teachers can be a little more relaxed as well. Because when you give your child Reiki, there's a tendency for their tantrums to not be as bad, to not necessarily last as long, and it may take more than usual to even start the tantrum. So, the first thing we'll say is, if you can give your child Reiki before school starts, I would even say especially the night before, because that could give them the chance to have a deeper rest, to hit that deeper realm sleep where their body can be more rejuvenated, they can have more energy, and that would allow them to, again, to have a better morning, a better chance of starting it off right, and therefore make it an easier transition into school once homeschool starts. So that's one thing, to be able to give your child Reiki the night before or the morning of, before school. And that in and of itself can help alleviate a lot of stress, strain, pain, and help to start the day off better for you when you're homeschooling. Now, the other things that come along with Reiki, especially as we teach it at House of Healing Light, when you learn Kundalini Reiki, there's something called quality situation qualities. Pardon me. Basically, which allows you to be able to give energy in a certain way to work on specific issues. It can be used for anger. So we know in the world of autism that there's definitely great chances of outbursts, of tantrums, and things of that nature. So you can be able to use situation qualities to get a better grip on that. You could use that to, again, help the child with their anger. You also could use it to help them with their focus, um, to help them be more disciplined. So that's another way. Situation qualities that Kundalini Reiki can definitely help you in your homeschooling. Um, as far as that goes, we also, in the way that we teach Kundalini Reiki, you also get something called ethereal crystals, which is basically the energy within the physical crystals that we have. You can be attuned to those specific energies and be able to use them when you need them. So you basically will just study the different crystals and their attributes to find out which one could help you in whatever situation you're having with your child. And once you become attuned to that energy, you can give them that energy. So that means that, you can be even more meticulous in helping your child in specific ways. So obviously all of this helps to change their experience, helps to widen their mind, and especially with the situation qualities, it can be used for anything. If you want the child to sing better, it can be used for that too. So the way that we teach Kundalini Reiki, there's so many different things that you can do, so many different ways that you can use it. For example, when it comes to our children, I give them something that I call a crown. And that's when I take different crystal energies and put them together around their head, and it allows the energies to flow through their auric field into their chakra system to affect the different things that we're trying to achieve. Again, by doing so, you can affect their focus, their discipline, their concentration. You can possibly, again, take down tantrums. Never to say that anything will just go away, but just lessening can change the way how your homeschooling day goes. So, these are some of the things that we use that are gratefully helpful in just helping the children to be able to learn, and to set up a better environment. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with Reiki, depending on what the situation is. Again, the basic way of using it is just giving it, and it will automatically go where it needs to go. And some of the main attributes of it are, again, reducing pain, stress, anxiety, depression, but it works on all levels. So the main thing I would suggest is for every parent, especially a parent of autistic children or of any neurological disorder, learn Reiki yourself. That way you can give the child what they need when they need it. The second thing is, once your child turns 8, you can get your child attuned. This will help tremendously because Kundalini Reiki will release the energy from their root chakra, therefore giving them more energy to use. And it'll go throughout their system, and you'll begin to see that it will affect the child according to whatever the child's symptoms are. We've noticed that our 2 sons that we have attuned, that neurologically, thinking wise, comprehension wise, they are growing. Speech wise, we noticed that our son Nasir, and he just got attuned in June. We noticed that he is now talking more of himself instead of just scripting. He was already beginning to script in a way that you could tell he was using it to try to communicate. But now, in just over a few months, he is beginning to form his own thoughts and be able to express them. We're not having long conversations yet, but I mean, you can see that it's coming. You can see that they're learning and they're expanding. The comprehension skills are going up. The things that they can do are getting better. So, attuning your child, as long as your child can understand how to turn the Reiki on, then I would strongly suggest you go through our program called For Children on the Autism, for Families on the Autism Journey. Go through the course. It doesn't take that long. And both parent and child, if they are 8 or above, should learn the Kundalini Reiki. It's very easy to use. It does not have any symbols, doesn't have any phrases that you need to say. It's all about intention. So therefore, even if your child is not necessarily verbal, they could still be attuned, and things could start to happen where they may start getting their speech back. So we strongly suggest that you do that, because the basic principle is it will raise the energy levels from the inside, from their chakras, and therefore just provide more energy in the system, more energy for their mind and their brain and their spirit, soul, to be able to use. So we have done it. It is safe, and you can see changes happen in a short amount of time. And then doing so, it can make your homeschooling easier, because they'll be growing. And once you can really learn their habits, you can begin to teach them in a way that it'll make the Reiki energy help them. That now they have the energy that they need to really begin to comprehend and learn more. So while you're figuring out the different avenues to teach them, now they'll have the energy to begin to catch up. So this is why we strongly advise all autistic families to use Reiki of whatever kind. We start off with Kundalini, and then we branch them off into other types of Reiki that we have. But it's up to you as the parent. But whatever Reiki that you want to use, that's fine, because it's all going to pretty much do the same thing. We just recommend Kundalini because it awakens the Kundalini energy. It's going to bring up that energy out of the root chakra and bring it up through the other 6. There's also other things that you can do, but the main thing is Reiki will help you with your homeschooling, because one of the things you can do to also quell some of the tantrums, especially if the child is attuned to Reiki. And Kundalini Reiki, you can say Kundalini meditation, and you don't have to say it outwardly. You can just say it in your head. And what will happen is a short energy burst will then go through your body. And this can help, again, to bring down tantrums. It can help give them the energy that they need, that peaceful energy that they need that start bringing them down. And then, of course, if you can teach them their triggers and can teach them how to deep breathe before the full blown tantrum hits or explosion hits, then you can begin to get those under control. Not saying that they won't happen, just saying that they'll be more controllable. And that, we all know, does wonders in the classroom where we have autistic children. If you can help to quell that energy and bring them down quickly and safely, then your day and their day definitely will go better. And again, that's one of the benefits if you get your child attuned, that they can begin to get a little more control over themselves. A lot of times, I don't think, even as parents, that we understand the amount of stress and strain that the child goes through. You know, we are dealing with their symptoms and their outbursts, but in dealing with some families with the Reiki, we found out that a lot of times the children feel the anxiety and the stress and the pain of what their actions do. If they do something and they can see the pain in your face, that like they hurt you, they have to deal with that. And when it comes to those situations where they don't feel like they're in control of their body, but they do something, let's say to hurt grandma, to hurt mommy, that can trigger depression, because now they're just angry with themselves. And so again, this is where Reiki comes in to help to bring things back under control. Because that's going to affect how they act in class. That can help affect whether or not they shut down, whether or not they can be more attentive and or stay in a better, happy state. You know, so Reiki helps with these other things that do affect what happens in homeschooling. So for the most part, those are the things that Reiki can be used for. And that's why we strongly suggest that all parents of neurologically disordered children get Reiki. We would definitely suggest from an economical standpoint that you take the training yourself. And then when the child is 8 and you feel as though they can comprehend the training, because Kundalini Reiki works off of intention, that it doesn't matter if the child is verbal or nonverbal, as long as they can comprehend what they need to say and they can say it in their head and understand what they're feeling when they're giving themselves Reiki, when they're giving them others Reiki, and when you, the parent or the teacher, is giving them Reiki. But we strongly suggest that you do that because it will greatly improve them, because it is a healing modality. So the more you use it, the more they heal. And then especially if they know it themselves, then they can begin to gain more control over the symptoms and the situations that affect them, because you can begin to train them so that when things happen, okay, remember, turn it on and give yourself Reiki real quick and bring yourself down, you know, and that will greatly improve how things go during homeschooling. As well as, it gives them something to do, something to be proud of, but mainly something that can allow them to gain more control over themselves. And that would make anybody feel better. When you can calm a tantrum down and not blow up and accidentally hurt somebody, you're going to feel better, which makes it easier for you to learn, which makes it easier for you to partake in the class when you know that you can better control yourself and not end up causing issues and problems. So we just say that, and I'll leave it right there. There's a lot of other things that you can do with the Reikis and ethereal crystals and stuff like that. But for the most part, that's the basic foundation of what you can do to use Reiki to help yourself, for the teachers be able to help in the classroom of homeschooling, and will overall give a better environment in the home, period. Because again, once the child feels better and more in control and can use different things to help different different symptoms that they have, they're going to feel better, they'll be able to do better, and then we all benefit. So with that, I'll just leave it right there. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always send them to info at House of Healing Light or at MPFAT. Autistic Triumph at mpfat.org. And we'll try to get you through as best that we can to make sure that our children get where they need to go. All right. So everyone have a good day. As I say, peace.